Injuries are an inevitable part of football, but some setbacks carry heavier consequences than others. Liverpool have now been dealt a significant concern, with confirmation that one of their players is facing a lengthy spell on the sidelines. The timing of this blow could hardly be worse, with back-to-back poor performances and questions being raised over squad depth. How will Arne Slot respond? Let's go over this in today's video, along with all the other Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. But first, Arne Slot has admitted that, by his high standards, Mo Salah is finding himself out of form, but the Liverpool head coach has a team-wide reason why that could be. Salah has 3 goals and 3 assists in 9 appearances so far this season, which is far from poor for a winger. But after a campaign that brought 34 goals and 23 assists in 52 games in all competitions, it is clear that the number 11 is not operating at his usual elite standard. That is highlighted by the fact he has only scored 5 goals in his last 20 games, stretching back to March. Slot admits that is the case, but asked whether he believes the Egyptian is currently out of form, he gave a broader reason why. I see the same with Mo's form now as the second part of last season, when he scored 12 goals, 5 from a penalty, 1 from a set piece, so 6 open play goals, Slot explained. He's part of a team that faces different opposition than the first half of last season. Compare how we've won the away game against Man United, where they tried to play out from the back, and we took the ball 3 times off them, and you compare that to the way Man United played at Anfield, where Onana only went long. That is one of the answers why it's more difficult for us to score from open play. Mo was a part of this already, you could see in the second half of last season and the first part of this season. But now you're focused on Mo. The next time you're focused on Florian, then you're focused on Cody. What I'm trying to say is that we don't score as many open play goals as we did in the first part of last season. This is something we work on very hard, and the more we will play together in the new setup, the better that will go. But yeah, we still struggle a bit to find enough goals from open play, second part of last season and the first part of this season. Liverpool are no longer underdogs, having thrived in the first half of his debut season in charge before battling to win the Premier League title in the business end, and opponents have adapted to that challenge. There is certainly a case to argue that the shift in system from a more orthodox 4-3-3 to a setup closer to a 4-2-3-1 is the main contributing factor towards the lack of open play goals. However, Slot clearly sees it as a necessary change, particularly in accommodating a number 10 in Florian Wirtz to ensure his side are less predictable, and Salah should eventually benefit. Now in a long-term injury blow, Jayden Danns is facing an extended spell on the sidelines after the Liverpool striker suffered a hamstring injury while playing for the under-21s. Danns pulled up immediately after taking a free kick approaching the half-hour mark in the under-21s 3-2 loss at Ipswich on Saturday. The 19-year-old, who is captaining Rob Page's side, required treatment on the pitch before being helped off to be replaced by goalscorer Kyril Figueroa. LFC News understands that Danns is now set for a lengthy layoff, which serves as another unfortunate setback. Some sources have indicated a grade 3 hamstring tear, with claims the teenager would require surgery, though this is as yet unconfirmed. If that is the case, Danns would be facing a number of months out, with a recovery timeframe comparable to that of Stefan Bajcetic, who underwent a similar operation at the end of May. Bajcetic is yet to resume full training over 4 months later, though the midfielder is understood to be nearing a comeback, with a gradual build-up of minutes planned. At this stage, those close to the situation have simply suggested it will be an extended spell out for Danns, who already missed much of pre-season due to another long-term concern. The youngster, who missed almost 8 months of his early development in the academy as he suffered with Osgood-Schlatter's disease, had been absent for a combined 10 months with recurring back issues over the past 2 years. That ended a loan move to Sunderland before it even began, and this new injury could now threaten Danns' chances of another temporary switch in January. Liverpool are yet to provide clarity on the situation with Danns, but under-21s head coach Rob Page is already without another striker for up to 2 months following knee ligament damage for Will Wright. It could see Page turn to Figueroa as a more regular starter or prompt a promotion for the impressive Josh Sonny Lambie from the U18s ranks.
In other news,
Liverpool continue to be linked with a move for Bayern Munich right-winger Michael Olise as a potential successor to Mohamed Salah, with a €100 million deal proposed. Olise has picked up where he left off after an outstanding debut campaign at Bayern, with 5 goals and 6 assists in 9 games so far. But despite his status as a key player for the Bundesliga champions, his future at the Allianz Arena is not entirely certain. Last month, Liverpool journalist Lewis Steele claimed that he cannot rule out the Reds making a move for Olise next summer, with the early noises being that he could be right at the top of their shopping list. That followed speculation of a release clause in the France international's contract, which would be easily manageable for clubs in the Premier League. German publication Bild have now reiterated Liverpool's interest in the 23-year-old, suggesting they would be ahead of Man City and Chelsea in their efforts to sign him. It is even claimed that the Premier League champions would be prepared to pay €100 million in order to bring Olise to Anfield. The speculation comes as Bayern push for their number 17 to sign an improved contract, with his current terms worth a basic £200,000 a week, which, remarkably, does not place him close to their highest earners. Munich newspaper AZ have further reported on the poker game developing around Olise's situation at Bayern and the threat of interest from Liverpool. Michael has already made a lot of impressions in his first season. He's a player fans come to the stadium for. It's simply fun to watch him play, Bayern sporting director Max Abel said this week. He has over 3.5 years left on his contract and will increasingly become a decisive factor in FC Bayern's game and shape the future of this team. Asked directly about Olise's contract and Bayern's hopes to tie him down to an extended deal, Abel replied, "If it's up to us, the longer the better." The question of Salah's successor has been one that has quietly sat at the back of minds for a while, thankfully able to be pushed to the back of the brain thanks to the Egyptian's longevity. Last season saw him produce arguably his best campaign yet, scoring 34 goals and providing 23 assists, but time eventually catches everyone. With a contract expiring in 2027, Salah still has plenty of miles on the clock. But replacing one of your club's greatest ever players shouldn't be done on a whim. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.